Good morning. Tizit here, playing some more Satisfactory Experimental 8 playthrough. Of course, my dogs are in the background and they're deciding to play with the squeaky toy this morning. That's fine. They are playing with each other instead of yelling at each other. So we're continuing to lay the basement work for uh our 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 major factory, our big factory. So what we have to do is last time we set up this steel production for only steel beams. Um, there we go. I was hitting the wrong button. So we got all of that filled in last time. So it's that's a lot. We still have a lot to go. Put a lot down. We also had to watch the nuclear power, which I flushed it right before I came over here to save it. So we'll work on this, do a couple trips doing that, and then we'll go flush it again or go check on it. Because we do not want to be running out of power. And I hit the wrong button. And then we're gonna have to either take down the base elevator, which we probably will. Just so that we can get all of the just so we can get all the foundations down without any issue. And then we'll put it. I don't know if I've decided to put it in the middle, which I probably won't. I'll probably put it off to the side over here somewhere. Like off of, actually, that sounds like a great idea. Off of this, and put it somewhere over here. But that's for later. So this is not going to be deleted because this is going to be like a door. Like, so this is like giant door. So like, if this closes, this comes down and meets here. And it's glass, and then this would close up to there. So it's a whole glass window, like a loading dock kind of thing. Make sure that these are facing the right way, which they are. My bad. I fell off. making sure I did all 10, because it didn't look like it initially. Like this. I did this on accident. I forgot one of the most important things. Music. Well, I did 10 on that side too. It's weird, sometimes the number 10 doesn't show up right away, so it doesn't look like it's there. I don't know if I'm gonna make it all the way over there. I doubt it. I think we're about a third of the way. Give or take, but we did meet that, so that's good. That's a good side. I think that was about halfway. Across the entire things. Dang it, I did it again over on this side. Make sure it's facing the right way before I set it down. And I think I did it again. Oh, nope, we got it. And this is where I need to stop. We almost made it. And you just hit H while you're outside of build mode to hide your hands. So we'll just go over here now. And then after I do this, I'm going to zip line back, stopping at the computer. Pick up AI limiters, going back there to drop them off, and there to pick up steel beams, and then going back up. That backup is not good. Yeah, this is not good. This isn't backed up anymore, which is good. That's not backed up anymore, but I think that these may be backing up. I'm missing like everything to make another one. See, there's not a lot of stuff we could do for the buffer. Or there's not a lot to drain from the buffer. Like, look at that. It just looks like a small little area to fill in. But when you're up there, there's a decent sized area to fill in. These doodads. Called AI limiters. They're going in that bar one. Right. Dude, look at the shading. Look. The shadows come. I'm really digging this cassette tape in the game. So it's just the absolute fix-it cassette. So this is going to be the main base that we have, our Mega Factory. It'll take us a while to fill all this in. And that's just the first level. I'm expecting there to be multiple levels. But we're going to do the first level, and then we're going to start getting all this stuff situated. Oh, I'm over here. Like, we can't even fit it in all of our glory. So this area, I think, is going to be the corner of it, because that's the corner over there, like over there, and then we're going to bring it over here, and I think it's going to be close to right over that area. Then there's our tower and a little platform up there. That's where we're making outclad aluminum sheeting, turbo motors, cooling systems, aluminum casing, batteries, uric acid, and something else, like another component for batteries. Yeah, so this is going to be that tower eventually. I just want to get the first platform down. I did not stop to pick up concrete, my bad. So on this floor, we're kind of going for an industrial look, which is why we're using these foundations. Because you can actually set stuff on top, and we don't have a risk of falling through, as opposed to these frame floor. I mean, it would look cool, but the glass foundation is what we're building off of. Sorry for the sniffles. My allergies have been acting up for the last like month and a half. So this floor is going to become our first resource floor. So like turning ore into the appropriate ingots, or we're going to start with the ingots, but we may have to expand someplace else for for like quartz or something, and I misclicked that one. But I think I have like pure quartz or something, quartz crystal or something that requires water. So we'll be doing that one up here too. Again, we're going to finish this out first because I want to make sure that you have all this room to play with. Alright, so we got that done. That's half here. Thanks for the follow, Gruesome Cannon. Or is it Kanan? Kanan, nice. All right, I'll remember that. All right, so we're gonna do something a little different over on this side because there's already one up there, or like there was already one there for increments of 10. So those curious, this is this is the foundation for the mega factory that I'm building. And I am doing it up in the air because this is eventually going to become AIRBASE, or what I'm calling AIRBASE. So you've seen the first Avengers movie, right? With all the giant flying like hovercraft. Basically that, except I think this is going to be bigger. So like that tower over there is going to be like part of a docking area. I haven't decided on what exactly is going to be there. We're probably going to bring a lot of water up through that because water is going to be the only thing. Water and probably batteries are going to be the only thing that we get up here through physical transportation, or physical direct transportation. And then the idea is to have drones bring in all the other resources. So this is the resource producing floor, which is going to be like your iron ore, or your iron ingots, yttrium ingots, copper ingots, steel ingots, maybe the quartz stuff. So the dimensions of it, so for this floor, not the ramp, not the ramps that go up, but just for this floor, is that side is 200 blocks, or 200 foundations by 160. And we're out of concrete. So there's our initial Caterium that goes into our computer components right now. So that's building computers, circuit boards, AI limiters, high-speed connectors, and supercomputers. And this truck is bringing in... Oh, yeah. It's kind of a pain sometimes to do. But I'll show you some of that area, because I started just basic stuff, and I think I moved one thing around from my initial setup. Maybe two. I think it was two. So what do you mean, like, that you struggle with logistics and small factories for the building trees? Is that like taking iron ingots and making rotors? Or is that taking iron ingots and making like just the basic components? Oh, one factory to the next. Yeah, this is actually my first time doing vehicles and stuff like that. So really the idea is, like, for this area, there's iron node here, and then there's 4 coal nodes, and then there's copper here, and then there's quartz up there. So for like this area, whenever I get it done, it's gonna be, I'm gonna have one drone port for all the coal. I may have to have 2 drone ports depending on how the resources max out. But this, I believe, is a pure iron node. So this is going to be one. Yeah, pure iron node. So that's going to be one resource, because this is a Mark II miner. But on a Mark III miner, with I think 2 power shards, it would produce 750. I think 750 ore per minute. Which, you know, so the transfer rate of the highest belt that we have is 780. And the 780 is only 1 output. And you also only have 1 input for the drone ports. So it's going to be, this whole area is going to be scattered with drone to get that operational. And I may actually extend it over to the surrounding biomes, like northern forest that looks like the northern plains, but that's just because of the graphic settings. They don't have all the foliage populated. Just like in that area of the desert, over by the computer area, it's not populated yet with the foliage. And I'm okay with that. So, like, I'll show you some stuff here that I have, because, well, I don't know why I got kicked off of that, but whatever. So here, for example, like Mark II miner coming in to make iron rods. If I get unstuck, iron rods that then go up make screws. These screws are only on Mark III belts, but they all have purpose. So like these first 4 machines feed through these bottom storage containers, and these are just the regular storage containers, not the industrial ones. And then the second 4 come into this one, and this was for belt limitations in the early game, is why I did it this way, because these are 120, or so each set of 4 produce 160, so Mark III belts is sufficient for that. And then the last 4 are the same thing, but these come up top, and so these bottom ones go down here and go to only this one assembler for rotors, because it's 100. Even so, it's 100, which is less than what it's producing, so that's going to back up, which is what I wanted. And then the same for this, one of the lines, I think it's the second one. Yeah, the second line from there is also doing that. And then this one, which is his bottom one, which is painted incorrectly, was going into here into 2 assemblers for reversed iron, or reinforced iron plates. And then of course we have over here, we have iron rods that are only being iron rods. So it's 2-story factory for only iron rods that all get fed into that storage container, then distributed over there, which we'll go over there in just a minute, and then this into these to finish making the rotors. Then we bring those up, or we merge them and bring them up into here. So this is reinforced iron plates, and this is rotors in order to make smart plating. Smart plating goes into here, and then down and around into this, because we needed it. But initially, like, I didn't plan for us to have these here initially. It was just, okay, I'm gonna take, since there's 3 nodes over here, I'm gonna take 1 node and make, I think it's 2 nodes, 1 node and make it only iron rods. I'm gonna take another node and make it only screws. So when I upgraded the miner to from Mark 1 to Mark 2, that's when I added that over there. And so that's the divider of like, hey, those are iron rods, and then the top is cast screws, or not cast screws, just the vanilla screw recipe, and then these all go into something. So this first line right here is this one, so we will follow this one over yonder. I don't know why I keep saying that, I've said it all last time too, into reinforced iron plates that go into here. So I need to increase iron plate production, but I wanted to do it separately from the smart plating production. So then this goes back this way somewhere. I had it split off for something. This goes over here all the way down into this with rods to make modular frames. So I kind of start off backwards a little bit, like, hey, I want to produce what is this, 10 modular frames per minute. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 modular frames per minute. So I think I initially only started out with 1, maybe 2 over here, and then just because of resources, and then I was like, all right, well, I need more of them, more modular frames, because we needed to just make versatile framework. So this was 2 per minute, or this was 1 per minute, and then I increased it when, like, so right above modular frames, it's heavy modular frames. So I needed to increase it so this was 10 per minute. So that's why I went back and I created 5, or a total of 5 of these. Because I already had a huge stack in here for it. For this section, yes. So the heavy modular frames get split up to go over that way to make one of those components that I just need rubber for. But it was, I think it was the space elevator part, or like the second or third phase of it, I think. I think it was the second phase of it. But, so that gets split halfway there, which is why this is backed up, because those aren't producing anything right now. And then the others come to here, which come to this section, which is that tower section over there. Over here. I think it's this one. But it produces, do I have any in my inventory? No. It produces fuse modular frames. These ones. And I made sure that the heavy modular frames got transported to where both of these are being created, which is over there. And let me just refill on concrete. So then, just to where steel is getting produced, or where we're getting the coal from, is up there. So coal, we have like 32 or 48 coal power plants up there. I don't remember. But this truck that you only see the axis for and the wheels for right now, that's bringing the excess coal direct off of one node over here at full capacity. And then that's being fed into here, and there's a storage container and an overflow thing, or awesome sink over there. So it's constantly flowing over here to fill it there, and then this iron node that's over here is being split off. Some of it is going to copper because we have the alternate recipe for that copper here, because this produces 100 per minute as opposed to 30 per minute, so this is way better. So that's splitting off that way, but then the rest of it is coming up this way to feed the iron here. So this is how I have it being fed. For logistics, is iron is being fed back here, and then being lifted up and over to be fed, and then coal, even though it's coming in on the same spot, it curves to go here. And don't mind the clipping there, that's how I had to do it. But then this is far enough away from the belt, or the lift, so the belt can run by and also feed there. And then these are split off for the coal to be up here, whereas the iron is lifted up at the very end of what I had before. So this is all at the very end of that. So there's that, and then so that's kind of where we're at now, and that's nuclear power over there. That's also just another beast. But all of this has stuff in it. This is smart plating. This is encased industrial beams. For these two are specifically for heavy modular frames, or heavy modular frame, because this requires 10 per minute, and each of these produce 5 per minute, or 6 per minute. So I just have them maxed out, so it overflows and backs up, which is what I wanted. So then it would overflow and back up for these resources as needed, but be able to be fed all the time. This is nothing but iron plates. So all the iron plates, and this is what the only thing that I adjusted. Initially, this was like ground level over here, but I lifted it up because it's like a truck pathway, and I decided to not use trucks anymore after that. So, hold on, I got to sneeze. Oh, sorry about that. Didn't want to sneeze in your ear. Oh, thank you. So all of these iron plates are going into storage first. So once, and this is a smart splitter, so it's going to say iron plate goes forward into here, and then iron plate goes off to the left into that, like you can see them down there, and then that's the overflow, which goes somewhere else. It was going into the awesome sink, but I have it going somewhere else, and I don't remember offhand where that is. Oh, it's it was up here in this drone, because you need for one of the acids, nitric acid, you need steel, or you need iron plates, so that's why it's being built off that way. And that's all copper. There's a lot of copper wire being made because the copper wire goes into the cable, and I had a lot of cable issues initially. Like, I would come over here to try and get cable, and this would be empty because there's so much cable going that way, and I had this the splitter to go that way. I honestly have no idea, man. Like, I really have no clue if it's gonna be like if it's gonna be sufficient. I mean, it should be. I mean, I just need to make sure I have enough batteries for it. But that's where we're gonna do things slow, and I'm thinking that this area right here where I'm already making batteries, because there's another, like, so there's bauxite here that I'm using, and then there's bauxite over in this area, I think, that I'll just run over. But the platform that this is on, I eventually want to make it only batteries and produce all of the batteries over here that I'll need and have them be distributed to the drone ports. But we're definitely going to try and see. I think it'd be a really cool idea, and we are going to be able to make it sustainable on some level, but we may not be able to maximize it as if we had all the logistics set up. Does that make sense? Oh yeah, no problem. I watch Total Eclipse, or Total X Clips, goes by. He does a lot of really good instructional videos, especially for logistics. The only personal issue that I have with him doing it that way, or like how he does it, is like for his manifold system, which is what this is over here, like through a splitter, goes into another splitter, into another splitter, into another splitter, into another splitter. Whereas a load balancing would come in and say, hey, we have to balance all of these machines, and it'd be like splitter and then into 3 splitters, into each having those be 3 splitters, which, you know, it, like, each of them have their pros and cons, and it's really just preference. But like, doesn't really matter to me which one I do. But for his manifold systems, especially when it comes to assemblers, instead of doing something like this, I mean, this is kind of messy, but instead of having like a splitter come in and then doing like raised stuff over, like he'll raise up the splitter, so he'll have a splitter there on the ground, and then he'll have a splitter like right here on the belt, like floating in the air. And I personally don't like that. I understand how it's more efficient, but I just personally don't like doing it that way. I like having it be more like as realistic as possible. Like here we have copper sheets coming in, and it's being split between these two things. So we go up and over and down to avoid the quick wire that's coming in. So there's no clipping. Yeah, that makes sense. That was something that I was also thinking about doing, like a pillar or big frame or something, or even the small pillar. But I'd probably do the big pillar just because, I mean, if you look at it, that could fit in a splitter or like, is that kind of what you do? I mean, obviously, probably hopefully center it to make it look realistic, right? Or do you do, I don't know if this would even work. It does, and you can slap. That's interesting to me. Or do you do that? I mean, that's off-centered, but you know what's really interesting? And I found this out. So do you know the barrier trick? Oh, you use the concrete pillar. So that. Cool. So you know the barrier trick, right? So the barrier trick, this is something I learned from Total while watching his stuff. So if you have a foundation, you can only put walls on the edges. So like if you wanted to do it here, you can do here, but if you hit control, you will replace the barrier. Yeah, so see, there's no more barrier. So there should be two items here. And then you just dismantle it and there's nothing there, right? So that is something that I found super useful if you need to divide stuff. Like if you wanted to put like one of these walls in the middle, you just go to architect, you have to unlock it in the awesome scene first. But let's say you wanted to put like a walkway here, get rid of this. There we go. So you wanted to put like a walkway here to make this sectioned off. You can just put a barrier down, go to wall, basic wall. Instead of it being on it, below it, or off to the side, you hover it and then you hit control and it takes care of it. Like it replaces it. So then you can grab it and then just build your walkway. Very useful. Another useful thing, and I think especially if you do a lot of load balancing stuff, you know how like you go to logistics, it is right, and you're like, hey, I need a splitter, and you put a splitter down and you're like, oh crap, this is the merger line, or vice versa, you put a merger down but you need this to be a splitter. So this is we'll do. So you click on this, and then you can cycle through this to smart splitter, conveyor merger, splitter, smart splitter. So since that's already a splitter, we're gonna do a merger. Same thing. Hit control, and then you replace it. So like if you needed to do, if you had a splitter and you needed a smart splitter, or vice versa, you can replace it without having to detach and reattach the belts. Yeah, it's it's clutch. Like it's when I figured that out during this playthrough, and I spent this game is almost 70 hours into it, and I've never actually built all the space elevator parts. But yeah, it's pretty ridiculous. But overall, in the game, I've spent almost 700 hours in it, and I only found out the splitter, merger, smart splitter, control, replace option this playthrough. It was right after I watched one of Total's videos to try and figure something out, and I was like, well, I just want to know if I can replace a splitter with a smart splitter the same way I can a wall with a barrier. And it worked, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. So, you know, it makes logistics less of a nightmare. So here's my water coming in for my batteries, although I'm only using one line, or 2 lines here, but I got 3 just to make sure. So I'm probably gonna bring some water up this way. So here's bauxite coming in. And I have to jump off here and on that one because this is too much of a drastic angle for zipline. Have you worked with any zip lines yet or done any of these? And here's the battery supply. So these are the battery machines right here. All 6 of them. Because they can produce 120 batteries per minute, which is fantastic. So here's where it gets a little no, on 8 I have. Oh, okay, I highly suggest them, especially if you want to like travel places, because you know, so your normal build thing, like I can't even get to that power tower right there. Right, I can get to, I'm on this refinery, so we're gonna come over here. I'll show you how useful it is for traveling around, and I have like a power grid that extends like all the way around the map basically. So you click on the top, right? So it's 2 out of 3 connections on the top, and then this is how you get the these guys out of it. But if you click up here, you get another power tower, and we can only go to about right here when we were connecting the that refinery. But look, I can go way over there if I wanted to, and then just zip line, and then you would traverse over everything. And then if you hold shift, you go faster, just like on if you're running or if you're on a parachute or something, you go faster. So this is like 2 or 3 times the distance, but you can even go further than this with it. Like I can't do that because I don't have the cable for it, but that's pretty good distance. Yeah, I really like update 8 for a lot of life stuff. What is it called? Quality of life changes. So I matched this. So this is 5 deep and by 4 wide over to that side. And then I also even matched, since this is the corner, it's 40 units from that corner until here, or 40 foundations. So this is 41. So that's mirrored over on that side from that corner. And when I'm up here, I change to jetpack. So the idea for like this floor, since it's doing nothing but or it would be doing nothing but producing like ore and like the very first ones. This is going to be nothing but industrial looking, which is another reason I went with this particular foundation. And then I make sure it's facing the right way before we continue. Yeah, no problem. Glad I can help. Like, one of the things that I really love about the gaming community in general is, as long as it's not like Call of Duty or League of Legends or something, you'll still find people that are willing to help you out in that, but just the toxicity in some of those games is just absolutely ridiculous. But in games like this, where it's like not really a competition, it's alright, here's how I think factory should be built, let me see what this other person does, and then you realize what they're doing and you're like, that makes a lot more sense. Let me combine what they're what they're teaching me with what I already know, and then we can, and then I'll see about doing something different, or combining them so it makes sense for this, maybe do something different and try different things, because you know, this is a really cool game. I call this, or think about this game as like Minecraft for OCD people. Oh yeah, for sure. And speaking of that, on one of Total Eclipse's videos, he mentioned something about seeing a factory that's done only by drones. I think it was an offhanded comment, but I'm like, you know what? That actually sounds like it'd be fun and pretty cool. So that's what I'm doing. My dogs just ran into something or something. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. And the buddy I have that told me about this game, I watched him play it and he told me a little bit about it, and I was like, dude, I'm totally buying that right now. And then we started playing. So he taught me, you know, the basics. I think there's like basics in every game, but then there's like technique and personal style and stuff. So he's like, he told me, you know, to automate stuff, you need power, because you have to provide power to things. So this is how you do it, and then you have to get splitters and stuff, and when you first start out, it's gonna look like a sloppy mess, which it does, because you don't have any foundations or anything, and it's hard to line things up to be perfect. But then it's like, as soon as you unlock foundations, that's where you're gonna start going off the chain to line things up. And once you start doing that, you can start making 90-degree turns with your belts and stuff, and it's just fantastic. Really scratches that OCD itch. And now here we are. My biggest problem, and I think everybody's biggest problem, or a lot of the problem, is when you're trying to set up nuclear power. Yeah, you do get a lot of buffed up power from it for your factory, but you have to make sure you're able to deal with the waste and all that, and water management. Oh yeah, same for me. Like, I didn't realize I was OCD, as OCD as I am. You know, I'm not like 100% OCD, or, you know, like I'm not OCD in every aspect of life or everything that I do. But I am OCD in certain things, like how my video games are organized, that are hard copy, how my DVD collection, how my Blu-ray collection, like all of that. I'm OCD about how those are organized. But then, like when it comes to like day-to-day stuff, like I'm like, all right, cool, whatever, I don't really care. But this game, I'm like, things must be organized. So I'm gonna, just so you know, I'm gonna keep. Thank you for your service. Yeah, that's definitely a way to do it. I was Air Force. Yeah. Fun times, like it was fun times overall. So all of these factories are eventually going to go away, but I need to make sure that I have that factory up and running first, the way that I want it. So here's oil, because we haven't gotten over this far yet. So that truck is sending over plastic, rubber, and packaged fuel. These are all producing plastic. Some of them are I think those ones are producing rubber. The majority of those ones are producing rubber. That is definitely producing rubber, with an alternate recipe requiring plastic, which is why they have it split here, going that way. And then all of this is plastic, I think. Oh, no. That's residual fuel to fuel those to bring it over here, because that's also residual fuel, and the sink there to power all of these fuel generators. And those are just regular fuel generators. We do have a turbo fuel recipe, but not a lot. So I haven't even worked on turbo fuel yet, because I want AIRBASE operational first. So all fuel and liquids other than water are going to be handled from down here or on that platform. And then so we have quick wire here, or ingots here, that are going into there to make all the components for encased plutonium rods, I think. We'll see. Uranium fuel rod. And then we have all the waste stuff over here. And so these are overclocked for 200 per minute. Really, they should be less than that, since I'm only running half of these right now, at most. I think, yeah, I'm running 4. I'm running 4. So these produce 40 of those of nuclear waste per minute. So these process over that. You know what I think is a really great idea? I'm gonna go ahead and this, take one of those. I don't have space for. But I have, guys. There we go. And then, just so I'm not carrying around a whole bunch of nuclear stuff, do that, because that way these will produce, get rid of that, even though this does 187.5 per minute, which is not quite one of these fully, but it should still be taking care of more than it's producing. Or this should be taking care of more of the non-fissile uranium, which is this. It should be taking care of more of that per minute than what these should be provided. So this is what I have to come and do every now and then, because I don't have a good water flush system yet. But this is also probably going to get torn down and rebuilt later. Oops. You know what? I'm actually going to do that. So if you hit H, it hides what you have in your hands. So that's why you see that I have nothing in my hands right now, which is kind of not true. And then you hit H again, or if you have your hands hidden like this, you just left click. Oh, that's my alarm to wake up. Or you can scroll wheel. It's scroll wheel, not left click. No, I don't really game through the night. I work second shift, so 2 to 10 p.m. and then I'll come home, sleep, and then I'll set my alarm for 8:45. So that should give me plenty of time to actually have decent rest. But my dogs like to wake me up about 7:30, and then after I let them out and then let them back in and kind of wake up a little bit, then that's when I start streaming. So I like having this here because it's just a faster way than having a zip line way over there and then come up this way up here. Yeah, especially when I got a hover pack. So if you left click, you have to hold the button down, but if you right click for ziplining, you don't. So that's right click right now to kind of put it in a little bit different. So this is holding left click and this is just left clicking, but if you hit right click once, it does this. And I think I hit the actual node, so let's try that again. There we go. And I'm not holding anything anymore. But I am holding shift to go faster. So I'm getting some coal from there. That provides it up here for what I need. And then that's the quartz down there. And then for the uranium that gets provided is the quartz and uranium are fed into that drone port, which goes and drops it off. And I had to adjust that before because there was too many quartz going and not enough uranium going. So I had to finagle some logistical stuff, which was just taking a 5 belt and turning it into like a 2. So you slow down the input of the resource that you don't want the most of, or that you want less of, or need less of, and you put that on a lower belt. So this is water from making aluminum scrap, and then this water gets fed this way into, like, helps with the battery, or flows out from the batteries, but also flows into these, which require quite a bit of water for nitric acid, which then we package this way nitric acid and sulfuric acid that go nuclear power to help turn non-fissile uranium into or help turn atomic nuclear waste into non-fissile uranium, which we then use to turn into something that we can sink in the awesome sink. I just can't remember what it's called off the top of my head. It's like encased plutonium cells or something. It's these. So in case plutonium cells that are here, which you can't sink, you fuel cells or plutonium fuel rods that you can sink, and they give you a lot. So I think this is about half right here to go over ish. This is the half area. So we're like a quarter of the way through, if that. Oh, there's a drill knight. Defies the law of physics and doesn't shatter my stuff. And there's another one. Although that one came up through the hole. What is it doing? So it like came up off the drone port and then like went down and then around, whatever. And that's why we have the the jetpack. I thought it clicked and it didn't. But it crashed through the construction zone there, drone. So something else, like, so you can middle mouse if you want to copy something. I don't know if you know that, but like I don't have anything selected, and instead of going to like hitting Q and then architecture and then glass foundation, I can just copy it if it's there. And then instead of hitting like Q and then Q again to get back to this menu, if you're in the build mode, you right click and it pulls it back up to the page that you were on. Pretty useful. And then you know how to add stuff to your hotkey bar? So, like the hotkey bar down at the bottom of the screen, 1, 2 is cable, 3 is this, 4 is that, 5 is this, and I've added those. So you go to Q, or you hit Q, and then you come here, and if you pay attention to 4 down here, I'm gonna go ahead and change it to this. So you hover over it, and then you click 4, and then it moves it. Oh, it moves it to where you want it, and then you just add to it. But then if you hit Alt and use your scroll wheel, you go to different ones, different hotkeys, so you don't have to keep going into the menu. Yeah, dude, it's crazy. Like once you get in here and like you figure out the nuances, or you learn about the nuances and stuff, it makes everything so much more efficient. So I do have a question for you. When you tell people about this game and like what it is, what do you tell them? Like, how do you describe this game to them? It's ultimate crafting OCD. It's your or just say adult Minecraft with purpose. Yeah, so those are good. Fairly accurate too. You know the like describe a movie plot badly, like posts and stuff that go around, and it's like the way that they describe Captain America is like such a non-interesting movie, and you don't think it would be that way. So how I describe this to people is I'm like, all right, so this game is you go to an alien planet with no carbon footprint as the only person there, and then you create the largest carbon footprint that you possibly can for an organization or for a corporation that treats you like a slave. It is savage and accurate. You know, because normally that like people are looking for like a positive kind of review or whatever, and like you tell them that and they're like, what? And then you can describe it more to them about the like how much you craft, and you have to automate it, but then you have to get power, and you eventually get to nuclear power to power everything and all that. And I think it's Let's Game It Out. It is a guy, he does one of his newest videos is absolutely hilarious. It's his video that like he had nuclear power before water or before liquids were introduced. So he goes back into that save, and he has all this nuclear waste that he can't do anything with, and that it's killing him. So his solution is savage. Like absolutely savage, but it's also, you know, like it's not for the faint of heart really at all. This is good that this is building up over here. Should be enough for now, and I think I'm not gonna have a lot of concrete or enough for concrete. Like so have you seen the video with like the tornado conveyor belt? Yeah, that's the guy that I'm talking about. Like that's the save file that I'm talking about too. So, you know, he just like builds everything all kind of willy-nilly, like just all over the place. Everything is spaghetti, which, you know, that's a way to play the game. Definitely not scratching our OCD itch though, doing it that way. His solution was to get the doggos, and since they can carry items, get the doggos and then fling them off into the abyss. I mean, it's it's pretty savage for him doing it that way, but like he slowly builds up to it. Like he legitimately experiments with things that you can do to get rid of nuclear waste without having to like produce it at all, or like refine it like I did with non-fissile uranium. And it's pretty funny. You know, he's a pretty funny content creator. You know about hard drives, right? These things, the drop pods, they give you hard drives that unlock alternate recipes. Okay. So I think there's a glitch, or I think this is a glitch, in the MAM right now, that when you research something, and you know how it pulls up the three options, like option 1, 2, and 3, and then if you hit escape or close it out, then like, and you can go back to it. Let's see if I actually have something pulled up. Yeah, like this. Okay, I didn't realize this was done. So I don't like any of these, right? Like this actually, I might actually do that one. The diluted fuel. Man, I really need that, but I really want to show you this. I'll just show you this. It's fine. I can research things, whatever. So if you're like, hey, I don't know, yeah, I'm actually going to show you the glitch before I take this, but yeah, that's definitely the one I would take. Especially since you can hover over this, and I see that I have the, what is it, like rubber cable or something, is 100 per minute, which is fantastic. But if it's like, hey, all of these are crap, you hit escape, and it gives you back the hard drive. And then you have to exit out of it to get back into it for it to pick up that you have a hard drive, and then you start scanning it again, and you get different stuff. It's a glitch at the moment. It has to be a glitch at the moment. Alright, there's a method to my madness for deleting those. Probably. I think my madness, I'll put it that way. Yeah, dude, I found that out by accident with the MAM. I was like, hey, I wanna see how this other, like, what alternate recipes I have for this other thing. So I hit escape, and I was like, huh, that was weird. It just went away, and I'm still in the MAM, and I hit escape again, and then I went and I looked at the piece that I needed, and then I went back to the MAM, and I was like, where'd the thing go? And I was like, oh my gosh, I better not have deleted the hard drive that I had. And then I looked, and I tested it out again, and I was like, oh, this must be a glitch. Alright. 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50. Well, I guess it doesn't really matter since I'm kind of meeting this halfway. Over this way, and I'll worry about that on the next section. Oh, something that I think would be pretty cool to show you too is clipping is okay sometimes. I'll show you over here. So how I had this before was I was trying to figure out what piece I should put into this area here, because it was like this and I wanted it to be looking like that, right? So you just put one there, and then you put one on this side to get this V
looking thing, which is right in the corner of it, and it looks so nice on the inside, which is what I wanted. On the outside, it kind of looks like a razorback thing, but because you have like all the bottom sides of that particular foundation like that. And then I'll finish this up real quick, and then I want to show you something else too that you may not know that may end up helping you out, and I hope it does. I just don't want to forget to fill this in here. Right. So for this, like continuing this over on this side, Alt, roll. So I have it on default, which is what I want to set it, right? And then you hit, if you think you got it where you want it, and you hit H for nudge mode, and then you can walk all the way around it. As long as you don't click, you can make sure that it's lined up. So if you have, like, let's say it's like this, it's off center, or even like this, but it's pretty close, right? So as you're looking at it now, you hit the down arrow to make it flush with the foundation that you have here, and then you hit left arrow to line it up. But if you come over on this side, you hit up arrow, it moves it back. So it's orientation in relation to you. So that looks good to me. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Take one of these because this is kind of weird how I have to do this. H goes off centered, it's lined up, perfect. That this up. H for nudge mode, that's lined up, perfect. And more. So I did this here because so this would slide up to here, and then there would be like a hinge, like right through here. That's kind of how I have that. H to hold it. Ooh, nice, lined up. And then now, since we have these lined up already, instead of it being a default, you hit you hit R to cycle through it, and it's blueprint, and you just kind of towards the center of it, and then you just line it up, and then you can just do that, and you have to do it on like the same level with it, otherwise you get something like that pops up. So then you'd have to come down here and do this from this side. Middle. Yeah, I like to think so. It's pretty good info. Like, and it's just the most that, or the best thing that I can do, or say the best piece of advice I can give you for it is just try it. Play the game, mess around with stuff, get an idea in your head, see how things work. Watch. Like, Total Eclipse is really good at giving, like, quality of life, blueprint advice, and stuff like that. For the game. But then you, like I said earlier, like, you take take what you learn from other people, and then you know, incorporate what they have into your play style. Okay, so we're gonna bring up the MAM again, and we have completely different recipes, right? I really needed this. I'm so happy I got it. The pure copper ingot ore, or the pure copper ingot, not pure copper ingot ore, but pure copper ingot. Because aside from, like, I want to kind of step away from that the iron copper ingot one recipe that we have, but this is this isn't yeah, so this actually burns up water. Awesome. But yeah, we'll do that because when you get all the batteries and stuff going, we need to have a place that we can take water from, or send water to places, so that we can just burn off water, because water's a pain in the butt to deal with. I mean, I guess we could just, like, send them all to packagers at some point and then just sink the packaged water. I mean, that's another option to do. And the thing about it is, I don't want to take up a whole bunch of iron to make copper. I want iron to make iron. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. We may end up going back to, or stepping away from the pure copper ingots. All depends. So now you can see the copper, or the full power plants. So we have 4 plant areas up there, and each of them have 16. That one might only have 8 though. They should all have 16. So it's almost 64. Well, it's gonna either be 56 or 64. Which early game is pretty decent, but when you get to late game, everything is power hungry. So part of this is we're not including any power production up here on this base. All power production stuff is going to be held off base, off of this, like over there on the Crater Lake, or over there for nuclear power. Like, for example, like we needed sulfur over there, so we have sulfur node over here, and it's going like running all the way along the lines up and over there, and that's the closest sulfur node to there. But that's probably gonna most likely be a drone later. I think I'm gonna get this power slip. Always deal with these guys first. Is my suggestion. The hatchers. Ouch. We're actually going to do that and press concrete. So I know this one's kind of boring for as far as like setting up factories and stuff, but you know, like this is also very important things to make sure you build a factory for the OCD. So, have you gotten to alien DNA capsules yet? Okay, do you do this with them? The protein inhaler? Or whatever it is? Or do you sink them? Because if you sink them, they do a lot. Like down here, we have one. Let's see if I can hurry up, do that. Yeah, they already did a lot. They're worth a lot early game. So let's actually print those out. Let's spend awesome shop. I don't remember what the tickets were before, but it probably only gave us 1 or 2 tickets at the moment. But when you get like at the beginning, it's I think up until like one capsule will get you 3 tickets, and then after that it gives you 2 tickets for like 2 or 3 of them or something. It's, you know, it's a pretty slow progression to get to that point. But I think I have everything unlocked already. Except for these guys, which I can get adequate pioneering. I think I'm just gonna keep it there for now. Let's see, power slugs we can. Those. Ah, that's about even. So the cool thing, when like the sun goes over this, there's shadows, like the shadow of the clear or like the glass. And it looks exactly like it, and it's like the same dimension and stuff. Pretty cool. So we'll finish with what we have here as far as materials, and then we'll look, go back over to nuclear power, make sure that that's running smooth still, and then after that I'm probably going to call it a day. So see how like this shadow is here? It shows this shadow like wherever this is going. Yeah, I mean you have to be down there and closer like to the ground, but it shows it. Oops, I shortchanged that one over here. change that one by 1. Oh, do you know about this too? Like if you click and then you are doing that and you're like, hey, I misaligned that, you can right click and it doesn't take you out of the build mode or anything. It just resets the point of, like, undoes that first click so you can move stuff around. Super useful. They're not like, oh no, and then have to like exit it or hit Q to get back to it. You're just finding out all sorts of stuff, all the like nuances of it. I'm super happy. We went through like so much material, and I don't think we're gonna get to the other side. Like, I don't think we're gonna be able to connect it all the way. I normally stream about the same time Monday through Friday. And usually at the end of the stream, I'll like, tomorrow I'm definitely going to be streaming at about the same time. Maybe a little bit later, it just depends on when I wake up, but it has been, start time is usually about 7:30 Central. So about 2 hours ago, and then I'll normally stream for about 2 to 3 hours. Just depends on what's going on, and especially if my dogs are acting up. They're not now, which is kind of weird. But also, hopefully they tired themselves out. From this morning, so. Yeah. just that, and then Saturdays are kind of hit and miss. Like, well, so Thursday and Fridays are my days off from work, and I'll stream in the morning, and then I may stream in the afternoon as well. Yeah, see, we came pretty dang close though, from starting with basically nothing in this row over here. I don't know if I can make all this stuff up here, or have all of it. I know I have most of it up here, or should have most of it up here. I have turbo motors for sure. Use modular frames. I have some, I don't know if I have enough. Cooling system, supercomputers are not up here. Electromagnetic control rods are up here, or no, they're down there and over there. But they're gonna be down that way anyway, so let's see. This is fuse modular frames. Oh, sweet. Those. Hover pack. Radio control units are gonna be over this way. Cooling systems are right here. Or overflow is right here anyway. There's a lot. Perfect. 1, 2, 5. Nice. Radio control units are backed up. Do I need 250 of them? Oh my goodness. Alright, so let's there. Oops. Wait, hold on. What? I learned something. This makes sense, but like all the storage stuff. Like I knew we could do that. I just didn't realize like these cycle E-cycle between these two, but you hold E and it brings up all of this stuff. Yeah, don't worry about it, man. Go take care of Spectrum to fix stuff. That's pretty important. Oh man, I wish I worked from home. But the job I currently have is, you know, it's a pretty sweet setup. The people I work with, a lot of them are pretty cool. It's not too terrible. At the moment, I work security, but a series of unfortunate events that started with a decision. Like I quit my job to pursue something else a little over a year ago, and I was working IT, and that's my preferred career field. However, like with the economy and all that stuff right now, it's just really hard to find a job within the IT field. What's the dark side? Like the programming or cybersecurity? Yeah, I've put in applications for that too, in pretty much all levels, city, county, state, federal, and haven't gotten anything. Cool, man. I'll definitely hit you up for that. Here, let me. That's my Discord, where you can hit me up on that. That'd be awesome for the hookup too, man. Oh, nice. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. Dogs are fine. I think one of them was just really annoyed at the other one and yelped. And when they yelp like that, they are learning that that is not acceptable. Were you able to see my Discord link? So we could talk offline. Oh yeah, that definitely needs to be addressed. And hopefully it's a pretty quick fix for you. Yeah, only 20 more. I normally don't like doing this, especially when I have something automated. But when you do have something automated, sometimes it's not automated to the requirements of what you need. In which case you have to adjust it, just like I did with the steel beam over by the river, over by the northern forest. And done. All the beautiful turbo motors. Now I need to go get supercomputers. Which, actually, I think I did send them up this way. I think they're here. Yes. And then electric magnetic control rods are going to be over this way. Go for it, man. Nice. Oh, cool. I will take a look at that as soon as we... Actually, I'll do that right now. I have to wait for... Alright, cool. So, while you were gone, this was almost full, so I drained these 3 buffers. This one was the least full, but it was still, like, up to here. But, we got all of this sorted out, which is great. So these are now less than max uranium waste stacks. But this is still here. So I added another particle accelerator, which isn't going to be as much as this, because these have 3 power shards, and this has none. But it's still going to help us out. So 75 plus 187 is like 267. I think something like that. But yeah, so that should work out with that to just help keep these down. And actually, you know what? I can do this now, because these only needed 1 power shard at most. And we just come over here and do this. And we'll be good. Then we just need to watch the buffers from now on. So that's another reason why I only like to stream for a couple of hours, is because I check the buffers at the beginning and then at the end, and or towards the end or sometime in the middle. You know, I check it a couple times throughout just to make sure, because it's kind of a lot, a lot of water. But I did get your message. I'm gonna I'll respond to those. After I get off stream here in a few. So something I didn't say, we have everything, like all the milestones unlocked, which is why we only have the space elevator parts up in the top right. I mean, I skipped jump pads, hazmat suit, and gas mask until the very, very, very end of it. But like 40-ish hours, maybe a little bit sooner than that. See, look, there's the shadows I was talking about. Like, how cool does that look? I'm on the wrong line of the... I'm gonna skip that. That looks so cool. So yeah, here they're all knocked out. And then you know about in here? Oh, don't worry, man. Like the first time for me to get to trains, I think it took me like 80 hours to get there. Funny stuff. So this is, you know, the hub, and then it's on this side. So you have your bed and kitchenette area that, of course, you never use. Then you have the bathroom, which is the highlight of it. So we'll go to that last. So this is a game. So like it's basically Tetris but via box. I can't get to that one. For this, which gives me 0. Oh, not that, not that. Next. So you just send it off, and then you just build these as best as you can. This would have been great. I could put that in there, but I'm not really trying to do anything for this. You want to hit those double bots. Great time to save, by the way. So you just do that. Like you could play that game different levels. But the bathroom, like when I tell you the bathroom is like the highlight, I am not kidding you. So like, you know, it just looks like a normal bathroom. Something should go there, which it should. But then you're like, oh, this is weird. And then you're like, oh look, there's a poster here. Now expanding to Fortuna 3. Which that is not the planet that we're currently on. And it's, you know, just a whole bunch of Easter eggs. Kurlev, Kurl slaves. Join us in the ultimate frontier adventure. The Kurlev sucks. What does that say? Can't read it. They aren't that kind. And then and Monica Beck was here. It's drawn on it, so that's like what the excavator looked like before. And then you have the like drop ship that's farting. So you know, like this game's pretty entertaining. So the game that's in here is good if you're like waiting for parts or waiting for like the dropship to come back or waiting for the parts to build up. Just intermittently in between the game, because you know you do have those moments. I mean, you could always be doing something, but it's like instead of going to explore because I don't need to right now, and I don't really have the capacity for it, then I'm gonna go ahead and play this game while I wait to get to trains or something until I get that. But the thing about trains is when you have to have a pretty substantial automation process for the components for it. Heavy modular frames is the big proponent there, that and computers, because like you have to have a freight platform for materials, freight car for it, which is heavy modular frames, but then the locomotive is computers and heavy modular frames. The train station, computers and heavy modular frames. Like it's a lot, and then you have like then you have the track, which is islands pretty easy, but then to make sure that it's logistically fine. But so I'm going to call it a day here. But thanks for tuning in. I'll respond to your message. And until next time on stream, catch you later. And enjoy your day. And good luck with Spectrum. Alright, saved it. And enjoy life, man. Later.